All right, on to the next standard. So this one, we notice right away that we are dealing with H's and A's. So on the day of the field trip, each teacher must call the parent of any student who has not returned a permission slip. All of Mr. Gomez's students returned their permission slips, so he didn't have to make any phone calls. So we know Mr. Gomez is good. Mrs. Hooper and Mr. Anderson have to call a total of 8 parents. So Hooper plus Anderson has to be 8 parents. Mrs. Hooper needs to call 2 more students than Mr. Anderson. So Hooper is Anderson plus 2. Now, which set correctly describes the phone calls made? So let's see, does this match up with anything? So right away, I see that it matches up with the first one. But let's double check. So we knew we were talking about how many does Hooper have to call, so we weren't adding 2 to Hooper. So those 2 were definitely wrong. And then we look at C. So C says that the total number of students called was only 2. So that one had it backwards. Number 2. In the basketball game, Marlene made 16 field goals. Each of the field goals were worth either 2 points or 3 points, and she got a total of 39 points. So we have field goals. So you have a 2-point field goal plus a 3-point field goal is 39 points. And then we have field goal plus field goal had to be a total of 16 of those. So let X represent the number of 2-point field goals and Y represent the number of 3-point. So if I change my A's to X's and my B's to Y's, let's see if we can see if any of these match up. Oops, look at the first one. So, oops, let me undo that. Look at the first one. Okay. Now the second one's wrong. Third one is, oh, look, another one only equal to 16. Fourth one is equal to the 39. And then we had, that one's wrong. And this one has your X and Y backwards. Now, let's go ahead and figure out how many 3-point field goals. So if we want to know the 3-point, let's get rid of the X's. So if I multiply the whole bottom row by -2, that'll eliminate my X's. So let's rewrite it so we can see. So I have 2X plus 3Y equals 39. So don't forget, we're going to multiply this whole bottom row by -2 so that my X's will cancel. -2X minus 2Y equals -32. Now, remember, you have the 3 equations. X's cancel. Leave me with Y equals 7. So that means that she did 7 3-point field goals in the game. If you wanted to know how many 2 points, I would just turn around and take this 7, plug it into that equation, and get your answer, which would be 9. Next page. 3. Justin plans to spend $20 on sports cards. Regular cards cost $3.50 a pack. So you have one card that's $3.50 for regular and $4.50 for foil. And they want to spend $20, but obviously 20 is the maximum. They can't spend more than that. So then we see they want an equation. Which one does this match? So it's always easier just to write it out yourself and then look at the equations. So right away, any that have 3.5 with their F is wrong. So then we have 3.5R plus 4.5F, which works, and the other one's the same. So then you just have the inequality. So there you go. The amount of profit you earn by selling knives can be determined by this equation. What are the constraints on profit and the constraints on the number of knives sold? So meaning, what is the relationship and what has to happen? So right away I noticed if I did not say anything, let's say we sold 0 knives. If I sold 0 knives, I'd be in the hole $500. So that means I have to at least have P being greater than 500 in order to have something come of this. Otherwise, you're in debt. So your profit has to reach at least $500. It has to be more in order to have a profit. If I only sold $500 in profit, that means I'd make nothing. What happens to your profit as you sell more knives? Well, obviously, as K increases, that means that my profit will increase. Is it possible to make $14,000 profit? So let's turn around and let's see what happens if I wanted P to be 14,000. So we have 200K minus 500. Start off by adding 500 to both sides. And that says 14,500 equals 200K. Divide both sides by 200. Okay, that'll all cancel out. So right away I can cancel those. And I notice that I cannot take 145. Oops, let's get rid of all that and try again. I got a hair on my styles again. So I cannot take 145 and divide by 2. So that means that it is not possible. I cannot sell partial knives. So the answer is no.